The following program is a paid commercial announcement. The sponsor is responsible for its content, which Talk Radio 790 KABC does not necessarily endorse or support.
The Bikini Lifestyles Show is brought to you by Fladeboe Automotive Group. Hosted by award-winning TV host, author, and chef Susan Irby and President and CEO of Fladeboe Automotive Group, Denice Fladeboe. The Bikini Lifestyle Show, where we empower you to wine, dine, and work out. We focus on lifestyle changes rather than short-term weight loss or abbreviated fitness regimens. Fitness and food are essential to looking and feeling good. Each week, the Bikini Lifestyle Show suggests a shift from comfort food to cooking good food with a healthy, delicious twist, utilizing fresh herbs, spices, and citrus flavors to enhance leaner, lighter, delicious foods. Daily lifestyle exercise routines are essential. Tune in every weekend to the Bikini Lifestyle Show. And now your hosts, Susan and Denice.
It's the Bikini Lifestyle Show on Talk Radio 790 KABC, presented by Fladeboe Volkswagen in the Irvine Auto Center. We're broadcasting from the Bikini Lifestyle Studio. I'm Susan Irby, creator of The Bikini Chef, and I'm with my co-host, Denice Fladeboe, president and CEO of Fladeboe Automotive Group in the Irvine Auto Center. I'll sing it for you this week, Denice. If you need a car, you gotta go to Fladeboe. I don't think I'll win any Grammys for that. But
that was pretty good. Thank you.
If you're joining us for the first time here on the Bikini Lifestyle Show, don't worry, you don't have to wear your bikini. You can if you want to, though. And we live up to our name here. We have elements of a healthy bikini lifestyle that include food and fitness, the occasional cocktail. Sometimes we're more fitness oriented with our guests. And this week it's all about food.
Good.
Yes, it's all about food. And we have one of the world's most notable chefs coming in, Nancy Silverton. I mean, we know her locally here as the founder of La Brea Bakery and the former co-owner of Campanile Restaurant, which they were famous for lots of things, but one of them was their grilled cheese sandwich night. I know, it was so much fun. But now she's got some other great, incredible restaurants now in town, and she's going to be joining us here in studio in just a little bit. And one of the things that we're going to be talking about with her is the All-Star Chef Classic, which is next weekend at LA Live. So, you know, the ever handsome Ludo Lefebvre, Chef Ludo Lefebvre, well, his wife, Chrissy, and another gal, total foodie, food writer, food blogger.
Lucy Lean.
Yes, Lucy Lean. Thank you. They are the producers behind the All-Star Chef Classic. And the reason this classic is different than food and wine tastings, I think, is because they're going to have more interaction with the chefs.
How many chefs? Is it a competition?
To my knowledge, it's not a competition.
So it's more like a demonstration?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And there's like our friend Waylon Lucas, you know, beautiful Waylon. She's going to be there. David Myers, Alain Prasad, Nancy, of course, Ricardo Zarate. So lots of wonderful chefs. But I want to share one really special chef that's coming into town, Master Chef Marc Meneau. And
Why do we know that name?
Master Chef Marc Meneau is from France. And reading about the classic and Chef Ludo and all that, Chef Ludo actually worked with Master Chef Marc Meneau in France for a time. But guess who else did?
You did.
Me.
Oh my gosh. That was a guess.
But no.
I don't think you've told me that story.
Oh my goodness. Well, when I went over to do my stage in Italy, after I was there, I finished up that, and then I went over to France with our friend Anthony. Remember, you know, our friend Anthony. So Anthony and I went to France, and we went to L'Espérance, which is Master Chef Marc Meneau's restaurant over there, and it's in Bourgogne, France.
Beautiful.
And Chef Meneau was kind enough to let me come and work in the kitchen with them for about 5 days.
How fun.
And it was such an incredible experience. So tonight's actual recipe of the week. I know St. Patrick's Day is on Monday, but I did our St. Patrick's Day recipe last week because the recipe that I'm doing this week is inspired by my time with Master Chef Marc Meneau.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a surprise at the end of the show.
It is. Okay. It's a surprise at the end of the show, and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay.
And there were many great and humorous and funny stories surrounding this recipe.
Okay. So
as always,
sure we'll hear some of them.
You will.
Are they stories you can repeat?
They are.
Okay, good.
Yes. They happened in the restaurant when I was in France. So, and I had just come from working in the restaurant in Italy. So you can only imagine. All I'm going to say is the French chefs and the Italian chefs think of themselves in very different ways.
I can imagine.
Yes. So now it's time for In the News. We have a couple things to mention. So vitamin C, this was in the Orange County Register, and it might reduce stroke risk.
Oh, okay. So do they suggest that you get all of your vitamin C from foods and the sun and all that, or do they suggest supplements?
No, you know what? More and more, I've never been a huge fan of supplements. I know you have some that you take, but I really feel that you can get all your nutrients from foods. From there are the exceptions, though, where people might need supplements. No, but they're saying oranges, strawberries, and even people don't think of this. I think when people think of vitamin C, they think of the citrus fruits, but dark green leafy vegetables have vitamin C in them as well. Chili peppers, broccoli, things like that. So there are lots of ways where you can get your vitamin C. And so it says men need about 90 milligrams of vitamin C a day. Women need about 75.
Okay.
And a medium size orange has about 70 milligrams, which is a lot. Yeah.
Well, what I was thinking, and the reason I do some supplements is a lot of times when you're talking about vitamin C, they just mention the fruits, and I'm staying away from sugar.
Right.
And there's a lot of sugar in an orange.
Especially in an orange. Right. And I agree. Like on my Bikini Chef diet plan and the 30-day Bikini Body Challenge, even for the first few days, there's no fruit. Yeah, because I'm trying to get the sugar out of people's system, not put it back in. But that's where vitamin C from your vegetables is really important. So I'll have to look up the exact numbers on vitamin C, but I know spinach, kale, all of those in here. They mentioned broccoli and chili peppers. And pretty much I put like red bell pepper in so many of my recipes.
Oh, okay.
Tomatoes even.
Tomatoes.
But those are technically a fruit, but it's not an orange, so it's not going to have the same amount of sugar content as you would. So anyway, reduces stroke risk, and you don't just have to think of oranges and grapefruits and all that for your vitamin C.
Okay,
but and I put lemon in everything. So there's vitamin C in lemon.
Getting it that way.
Yeah. This has nothing to do with vitamin C, but
it might.
Well, it might. Bubbles. So sparkling red wines
comes from grapes, and so there might be vitamin C in there.
There might be vitamin C in there. Yeah. So Australian and Italian vintage wines, they are coming in now, the sparkling varieties. And this whole article is talking about there's a sparkling Shiraz, and then these are from the Piedmont region, so Australian, Italian wines, and they're actually fairly affordable.
So is that something new where wineries are branching off into making sparkling reds? Or have they always been around? I guess I haven't paid attention.
I think they've always been around, but they're just becoming more popular.
Okay.
And I think part of that is people are always looking for something new,
the next
fun
new thing,
and different. Yeah, we all get bored so easily. And the thing is, I think in the past that a lot of these sparkling wines had the connotation that they were super sweet, but they're not. It's not necessarily true. So they can be anywhere from semi-sweet to very sweet. But then, so again, it depends on what your tastes are and, what you want to try.
They can probably be dry, too, because in Champagne, you've got more dry versions.
Yes. And here they're talking about in the article, how about they're still dry, but they're very fruit forward.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of them have intense berry flavors, but they're not as sweet.
Might
as
have
you
to have
think.
a taste test.
I know. I think we should. So Shingleback Black Bubbles.
Say that 10 times.
I know. It's an Australian one. That one, it runs about $24 retail. They have another one, inexpensive Lambrusco, and it's Say Amici Dolce Rosso, and it's only like $7 a bottle.
Oh, okay.
So again, you can just kind of do your own sort of taste test. Or, so many of these stores now, they'll do like wine tastings in-house where you can go and try it out before you buy it.
Which is a good plan.
I know. That's our little bit of In the News this week. All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're very excited to have James Beard Award-winning chef Nancy Silverton, and she's going to be at the All-Star Chef Classic next weekend at downtown LA Live. It's the Bikini Lifestyle Show on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Did you know that Fladeboe Automotive Group has been servicing Orange County for over 50 years? Denice Fladeboe knows when buying a car, you gotta go to Fladeboe.
Fladeboe Buick GMC believes when you're picking a store for your next Buick or GMC, start with their shoes. Because for over 50 years, Fladeboe's been putting themselves in their customers' shoes, and you can really feel the difference.
Shopping for a new Buick or GMC? Get to know Fladeboe at Fladeboe Buick GMC in the Irvine Auto Center or visit fladeboe.com.
Midday LA.
Coming up Monday at noon, it's Midday LA with Jillian Barbary and John Phillips, where we'll talk about all the insanity that happened over the weekend.
That's right. I don't have the kids, so you know what that means. Woo! In bed by 8.
Oh, dear. Midday LA with Jillian Barbary and John Phillips, right after Brian Suits, live and local, Talk Radio 790 KABC.
I'm Chris Walls, and I'm a truck driver from Missouri. For 13 hours a night, I sit in my truck and I drive. Out of boredom, I'll stop and eat. If I'm not doing fast food, I guarantee there's a bag of chips open on my dashboard. Along with that, I'm good for about 4 liters of soda a night. That was all until Andro 400. I started out 4 months ago weighing 341 pounds, and since taking Andro 400, I have dropped 45 pounds. I'm sleeping better. There's no cravings. There's no excessive thirst. My knee pains went away. I've had some lower back issues, and I've noticed that went away, and I can only contribute that to Andro 400. One thing that Andro 400 said on the radio ad says it attacks belly fat. Well, let me tell you, it did. I've lost 6 inches. This product really does work.
So guys, if you'd like to experience similar results, then get Andro 400, the safe, natural, and inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com. andro400.com.
Stimulate this. Live and local. Live and SoCal. Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Listen to Susan Irby, the Bikini Chef, an expert in health and nutrition and 8-time best-selling author. Now, back to the Bikini Lifestyle Show.
This is the Bikini Lifestyle Show, and it's presented by Fladeboe Buick GMC in the Irvine Auto Center. I'm Susan Irby, creator of the Bikini Chef, and I'm with my co-host, Denice Fladeboe. We have a very special guest tonight, Nancy Silverton. Nancy, if you don't know, she was the founder of La Brea Bakery and co-owner of the beloved Campanile restaurant in Los Angeles for many years. I pretty much call it, Nancy, your own culinary block. You've got Osteria Mozza and Pizzeria Mozza and Key Spacca.
I'll have to add to that.
Yes, you're adding more.
Pizzeria Mozza in Newport Beach, Pizzeria Mozza in San Diego, and Pizzeria and Osteria Mozza in Singapore.
Singapore.
Oh, cool.
Yes, that was one of the things I wanted to speak with you about is all of these, various locations and how you've expanded so much. I mean, you've really been a pioneer for women and chefs in general, for so many years. So I want to say, first of all, I'm grateful to you for that. And coming up next weekend, you're going to be part of the All-Star Chef team at the All-Star Chef Classic that's going to be in Los Angeles at Downtown LA Live. What does it mean for you to sort of be a part of these events at this point in your career? I mean, you've done so much.
I really do love food events, and I am looking very forward to this one because this is the premiere, right? Never been done before.
I know.
And it sounds really exciting what they're doing with this festival and trying to make it very different from other food festivals.
I know. Well, a lot of the food festivals traditionally, like the restaurants will come and they offer tastings. And I think there's going to be some of that,
right,
at the All-Star Chef Classic. But then they're also having this sort of stadium seating is like a culinary stadium where guests will be able to come and see the chefs, I believe, making the dishes and interacting.
I'm actually going to be participating in 2 of the events and a guest at 2 of the other events.
Very nice.
The ones that I'll be involved in will be the All-Star Lunch on Saturday. By the way, that's all women, so it's the All-Star Women's Lunch on Saturday, which is pretty terrific. And it's organized in a very interesting way. So we'll actually be cooking in the center of this stadium seating. Mm-hmm. So the guests, and I think there's 270, and it's almost sold out, by the way.
I'm sure.
Can watch us cook the meal that they will later be able to eat. So it's sort of a cooking class and sort of a luncheon mixed in one. And that'll be really interesting. I've never seen that being done before.
No, never. Never.
Fun.
I know it does. It sounds like a lot of fun. And I think very refreshing approach, to these sorts of things. And now, you've been in the culinary field for so many.
I'm not that old.
I don't mean it like that, but I just mean your experience. Has it been fun for you to sort of see the evolution of guests and wanting to be more involved?
It's very, very different. And I can say, honestly, that I think I participated in probably one of the first of the food events that sort of got this whole craze going. And that was the Food and Wine Festival that Wolfgang Puck held in the parking lot of Spago to raise money for Meals on Wheels, original
in Hollywood.
On Horn Avenue, right?
Yes.
And he tented in, or he didn't even tent it in because in Los Angeles, except for a couple days ago, I don't think it's ever rainy, but so I didn't even think it was tented in, but it was in the parking lot, and he invited a handful of his favorite chefs around the country, and he knew back then that being able to bring in some well-known chefs and feed some hungry people, they were willing to give money back to a wonderful cause. And he did that event for so many years, and it got so big. It was in the Warner Brothers studios, I think it was, for several years. Mm-hmm. And I think it really got people interested in using chefs to help raise money for important causes.
Now, you worked with Wolfgang. Were you one of his first?
Yeah,
chefs?
I was his first pastry chef.
Pastry chef.
Yes.
Great.
Wow.
And back in those days, you had to say Wolfgang Puck, by the way, because not enough people knew who he was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you only have to say Wolfgang, and we all know who
Wolfgang,
we're talking about.
Or even Wolfie.
Yeah.
I know sometimes you can hear him referred to as that. But so you were the first pastry chef. But now you've moved from just pastry into, having your own restaurants for many years and all of that. And now I believe one of your pastry chefs has been nominated for a James Beard Award. And now you're nominated as well for just, in my experience, I've seen a lot of pastry chefs, they kind of get stuck in pastry, but not for you.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the most talented pastry chefs, I would say, in the world, and one of the greatest chefs and restaurateurs in the world is Michel Richard.
Right. Right.
He had the restaurant Citrus here. Mm-hmm. That was his first restaurant that he opened, and it was just a brilliant restaurant.
In years past, Los Angeles wasn't necessarily known for having a vast culinary landscape. New York and New Orleans and France, of course, they would get more of the credit for that. But really, when you look at it, a lot of the culinary artists did come from Los Angeles.
No, we have some true pioneers, but I think that it's very true. Until very recently, I think Los Angeles hasn't been thought of as a restaurant city. And now I just see so many chefs from around the country coming to Los Angeles to see what's happening.
So, now this is a healthy lifestyle show. And do you sort of see food and restaurant trends moving towards more healthier styles of food? Or do you think that kind of you've sort of been doing healthy food all along?
I think that the restaurant that I had and the restaurants that I have and the bakery that I had, we've always paid attention to healthy eating. And I think that if you had to say what kind of restaurant do I have, I think that our restaurants have always been seasonal and they've always been very ingredient driven.
We're speaking with Nancy Silverton, and I think really you were one of the first to really incorporate that from the beginning.
Right. That was sort of our mission statement from the beginning, was shop at the farmer's market and cook seasonally. Now it's a word that's taken not only for granted, but it's really used all over the country.
All the time.
But there was such a dichotomy between the cooking in the West Coast and cooking on the East Coast, right? And now they've really met in the middle.
And the term farm to table, you hear that all the time now, but you've been doing farm to table forever.
Yep.
You started it.
Yes.
When you think of something being a trend, then you think of it being short-lived.
Exactly.
Here today, gone tomorrow. So I don't know if that's the case or not. But as a restaurateur, you do need to adapt to your customers' needs, right? And so one thing you do see a lot of, or more so today, are people, some of their gluten-free issues and certainly some of their vegan. So you don't eliminate, but you keep an open ear and you try to accommodate. And I think that's
those
an
are
important...
real issues, or are they sort of made up problems?
Look, I'm a bread maker, right?
I know. So, I'm gonna
don't get me started. But there are. Look at
we'll
Dahlia.
Talk about that in the next segment.
Dahlia, who is our pastry chef, unfortunately has celiacs.
Okay.
And that is a real disease.
Yes. Well, this is a good time to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. And I wanted to ask you more about your bread making and what you're doing now at your restaurants and things like that. We're speaking with Nancy Silverton. And she has many restaurants, but Osteria Mozza, Pizzeria Mozza, Kispaka, and they're all over the world. They're here in Los Angeles, San Diego, and Singapore. I know. I can't wait to talk to you more about that. She's going to be at the All-Star Chef Classic next weekend, and you can get tickets and details at allstarchefclassic.com. It's Susan Irby, and we're on the Bikini Lifestyle Show on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Listen every week to the Bikini Lifestyle Show with Susan Irby and Denice Fladeboe, where we wine, dine, and work out.
Fladeboe Volkswagen believes when you're picking a store for your next Volkswagen, start with their shoes. Because for over 50 years, Fladeboe's been putting themselves in their customers' shoes, and you can really feel the difference.
Shopping for a new Volkswagen? Get to know Fladeboe at Fladeboe Volkswagen in the Irvine Auto Center or visit Fladeboe.com.
Do you want to learn how to feed your family for $7 or less without eating off the value menu? With Susan Irby's 3-part The $7 a Meal Cookbook series, you'll learn how to cook healthy, use a pressure cooker, and whip up quick, easy meals. Each book includes 301 nutritious, delicious recipes that the whole family will love. Get your copy at www.thebikinishef.com or www.amazon.com today.
Cars, trucks, motorcycles. If it's got a motor, we've got your man. If there was ever a time you needed an automotive expert like Leon Kaplan at your side, it's now. The Motorman, starting Sunday morning at 8. Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Never before in the history of mankind has March meant so much. The Quicken Loans $1 Billion Bracket Challenge with Yahoo Sports. The once-in-a-lifetime event that could change your life forever. How you make your college basketball picks doesn't matter. $1 billion could be yours. But that's not the only way to win big. If your bracket ranks in the top 20, you'll walk away with $100,000. Guaranteed. Get your game on at QuickenLoansBracket.com, where you can fill out your bracket and find more details. The Quicken Loans $1 Billion Bracket Challenge with Yahoo Sports. Pick a perfect bracket, win $1 billion. Enter at QuickenLoansBracket.com.
Not affiliated with or sponsored by NCAA. No purchase necessary. Legal residents of the United States, 18 or older. Void where prohibited. Begins March 3rd, 2014. Ends at 1 a.m. Eastern Time on March 20th, 2014. For official rules and complete details, visit www.QuickenLoansBracket.com. Prizes available to first 15 million registrants only. Sponsor Quicken Loans, Inc. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
790 KABC.
A shift in the investigation of the missing Malaysian airliner. ABC News has learned somebody in the cockpit pre-programmed the aircraft to make a left turn off course. Retired Marine Corps pilot and ABC News consultant Stephen Ganyard says that could indicate a rogue pilot.
Not easy for a layman to do. It was probably a pilot or somebody that had extensive training who pre-programmed this turn to head off to the west.
People head to the polls in just over 4 hours in eastern Ukraine to vote whether to break away from the country and become independent or to join Russia. Correspondent Daniel Sanford with our ABC News partner, the BBC, is in the Crimean capital of Simferopol.
Across town, a last-ditch demonstration by those opposed to the referendum. People who say the poll is illegal. People who warn that Crimea is dependent on Ukraine.
More battling and bloodshed in Syria on the third anniversary of the uprising that led to civil war. Comedian David Brenner's died at 78. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
KABC. Traffic first on the fours. News around the clock 24/7. Only here. Radio 790 KABC.
You don't have to wear a bikini to listen to Bikini Lifestyles with Susan and Denice. It's about healthy living with the bikini flair. And now, back to the Bikini Lifestyle Show.
Welcome back to the Bikini Lifestyle Show on Talk Radio 790 KABC. I'm Susan Irby, creator of The Bikini Chef, and I'm with Denice Fladeboe. We're broadcasting from the Bikini Lifestyle Studio here at KABC in Los Angeles. If you're listening online, we always thank you for tuning in. And we're here every Saturday night at 7 p.m. And the Bikini Lifestyle Show is presented by Fladeboe Honda in the Irvine Auto Center. If you need a car, you gotta go to Fladeboe.
I'm glad you did that. It's been a while.
It has. If you're just joining us, we're talking with culinary icon Nancy Silverton, and she is part of the All-Star Chef Classic, which is next weekend at LA Live in downtown Los Angeles. You're not going to want to miss it, not just because Nancy's going to be there, but there's so many incredible chefs that are going to be there. And actually, Nancy, one of the chefs that's going to be there is Master Chef Marc Meneau.
Yes.
And I apprenticed with him.
Really?
In France. Yes,
You've been everywhere.
Just over 10 years ago. I know all as chefs, you're just going to have a blast.
We are.
Yes.
And we're going to work.
Yes.
Yep. And we're going to make delicious food.
I know. And so in the last segment, you shared what you're going to be doing on Saturday. But what
Right.
do you do up to on Sunday?
And then on Sunday, it is Savor the Seasons is the event. And we are savoring the season of spring and celebrating all of the fruits and vegetables that are available to us at our farmers markets that are all over the city. We're so spoiled and so lucky to live here. And so the chefs that are participating in that event are going to be cooking from the farmers market. And I'm going to be assembling, because I'm actually making a salad on both days. I'm making a salad. But on Sunday, the salad is baby kale salad, which is, I think, a really kale. People are really into kale these days,
they
right?
Are. I know I am. And, you know, Chef Govan Armstrong,
Yes.
he was on the show last week and he did a wonderful kale salad. I know. And kale actually is even more nutrient dense than spinach and things like that. So, yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, and I'll be doing that. And Sunday is a great day because it's a family day. A great opportunity to bring your kids. There'll be some baking classes. There'll be some activities like make your own smoothie.
Oh, very nice.
And then, again, there'll be the 10 chefs that you can walk around and taste their food.
And then will we actually be able to see you making the dishes this day on Sunday?
Not on
Saturday?
Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday will be a little bit more of the traditional food festival.
Okay. Wonderful. And so if you want to see more of the cooking, then Saturday and even Friday, some of the chefs will be doing that. And it's in a stadium style seating, which is very unique. It's the first sort of all-star chef classic of its kind.
Very well thought out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very, very fun. And you can get all the details at allstarchefclassic.com.
You know, and one thing I wanted to add to that is that I think some people get a little annoyed at food festivals because the lines are just so long. Like, you know, they're so long that you have to wait. And sometimes by the time you get up there, the chef has run out of food. Right. So the tickets are being limited so that it's not going to be, you know, a crowded festival. And that's going to be really nice.
It's something that everybody can really enjoy then. And we'll actually get to speak to the chefs, perhaps. Instead of just waiting in line with a plate. Well, wonderful. Well, let's talk about some of your restaurants for a moment. We mentioned that you're nominated again for a James Beard Award, and then your chefs have been nominated. And at Osteria Mozza, you have a mozzarella bar there. Was that totally your vision there for that?
No, you know, I can't take that credit. But I can take the credit of seeing a good idea. Jeremiah Towers was a chef in Northern California.
Okay.
He was one of the original chefs at Chez Panisse. He went on to have his own restaurant, Stars. When you talk about iconic, that's iconic, right?
Well, I don't know. You're in Food and Wine magazine, Best New Chef. I could go on and on about your accolades. I have many of them here.
Was Stars in San Francisco?
Yes, Stars is in San Francisco.
That was
and
great restaurant.
Jeremiah came to visit me, not in Los Angeles, actually in my home. I have a tiny little house in Umbria, and he came over for lunch one day, and I made him a lunch. And I had just gone to a Caseificio where they make mozzarella. And so that was the star of my lunch, and I did all these condiments around the lunch. And he said, you know, this was wonderful. One of the best lunches I ever had. I have to boast a little. But he did say, when you go to Rome this summer, because he knew I went to Rome every summer on my way back, there's a restaurant called Obica.
Oh.
And actually, we have an Obica here in Century City. So they have a mozzarella bar, and they do all sorts of things with mozzarella. And so I did go visit it, left thinking this is brilliant, and came back to L.A., partnered with Mario Batali and Joe Bastianich.
Yes.
And we opened this Restaurant Mozza.
I know. I love it. I'm glad you brought up Umbria because it seems like there was this passion for this sort of Tuscan cuisine and style. So that was by design? Is that for your love of Tuscany? Because we share that common love. And now you mentioned your partners, Mario Batali and Joe Bastianich, and they seem to have some very driven personalities.
They sure do.
Are they very involved with the restaurants?
Yes, they're. I mean, no major decisions are ever made solely in Los Angeles, right? But Joe is, of the two East Coasters, Joe is more involved these days because he has two shows that he's shooting out here. The first one is Master Chef, right? And he is just in production of a new show he's going to be doing.
Oh,
so
exciting.
It brings him here like at least 3 to 4 months a year. So naturally, he's by almost every single night checking up on us.
Yeah.
You know what? Could we revisit the mozzarella bar?
Yes.
How does that work?
Well, it's not a bar by. We're not drinking mozzarella. Okay.
I guess you could, but no.
But it's a beautiful marble bar where I can be found most nights with 2 other associates, and we are doing all of the antipasti, most of which have some form of mozzarella, whether it's buffalo milk or cow's milk mozzarella. Most of the dishes come out of that counter are made with mozzarella, and it's called the mozzarella bar.
Okay, cool.
And then you might ask me, or you might tell me, haha, that's how you got the name Mozza, because it's mozzarella.
Okay.
Yes.
Good to know.
The aha moment.
Right.
I love it. Now let's revisit, since we're revisiting your La Brea Bakery days. Now, bread really gets a bad rap these days. And how do you feel about that? Do you get offended when people say don't eat bread or bread is bad for you?
I don't get offended, but I get defensive. How about that? But I want to add that La Brea Bakery just celebrated its 25th year anniversary.
Incredible.
With a new opening. Right. They moved up the street from the original location on La Brea, a half a block up to the corner of 6th and La Brea, and turned the tiny bakery into a larger bakery and restaurant. So it's a cafe bakery now. And they really did a beautiful job, I have to say.
Congratulations on 25 years.
I know. And, early on in those years was the success of what was the diet called where you didn't eat carbohydrates?
The South Beach?
No, it was before South Beach.
Dr. What's his name? Atkins.
Atkins, right. So that was back then, right? And that was the question everybody...
Yes.
They didn't say gluten then. They said, what about the Atkins diet? Are you going to go out of business? And so I wanted to say, 25 years later...
No.
So, there are people that are going to not partake in the gifts you have to offer. But luckily, there are plenty...
Yes.
That still are bread obsessed and will always be bread obsessed. And we try to accommodate.
Well, but also the ingredients you're using. You're not making like bread, the typical bread that comes in a little plastic baggie on the shelf. You're making these artisan breads and, that are made with fresh and healthy ingredients.
Very wholesome. And we're trying to introduce more and more whole grains that are really important for health and diet.
Absolutely.
Great.
Well, thank you so much. And Nancy, you can catch Nancy next weekend at the All-Star Chef Classic, and that is going to be downtown LA Live. You can get all the details, purchase tickets at allstarchefclassic.com. Nancy, you've won James Beard Awards, you've written several books, you've owned restaurants. What's next for you?
Well, I'm starting a new cookbook. How about that?
Wonderful.
It's kind of like, when you have a child, you say, I'll never do that again. And then you have several more.
And then you do it.
That's the same thing with writing a cookbook. It's always the last. And it's the beginning of the first.
You cooked with Julia Child. Do you have a favorite during your culinary career or a gem of experience, the moment that you would like to share?
Well, now that you brought up Julia Child, I'll tell you a moment that I had with her that was really special. The first show I did with her was baking bread. And that was a difficult show to do.
Right.
That was difficult. But the second one was actually she did that series. It was a baking series in her kitchen. And so you cooked right alongside her. And so that was so much more fun to, share the camera with her.
Right.
And I made a brioche tart that was finished with sautéed fruit, very hot. And Julia had said, and as she has always said, that I'm going to give you little nudges on your backside when you need to speed it up or when we're almost done, and so that we can finish in the appropriate time. So I cut my tart and I sautéed my fruit and I spooned it onto the tart, and then she hit me like, okay, now's the time, you got to feed me. So I forked off a bite and I popped it in her mouth, right? And then her eyes just welled up with tears, and tears started streaming down her face. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I burnt her.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And then there's a pause, and she said, this is the best dessert I've ever eaten. So
Yay!
That's my Julia Child.
Very good.
moment.
Love it. Thank you, Nancy Silverton. Such a pleasure to have you on the Bikini Lifestyle Show. We'll see you at the All-Star Chef Classic next weekend. And the Bikini Chef Recipe of the Week is next. We're on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Did you know that Fladeboe Automotive Group has been servicing Orange County for over 50 years? Denice Fladeboe knows when buying a car, you gotta go to Fladeboe.
Fladeboe Honda believes when you're picking a store for your next Honda, start with their shoes. Because for over 50 years, Fladeboe's been putting themselves in their customers' shoes, and you can really feel the difference.
Shopping for a new Honda? Get to know Fladeboe at Fladeboe Honda in the Irvine Auto Center or visit fladeboe.com.
Getting in shape can be hard, and sometimes we need that extra push or motivation to keep us going. Well, that motivation has arrived. Author and celebrity chef Susan Irby has created cookbooks designed to support and encourage healthy eating habits while you're in the process of getting your body into shape. Try Substitute Yourself Skinny or Boost Your Metabolism. Get your copy today for as low as $7.95 at www.thebikinishef.com or www.amazon.com.
It's Brian Suits.
I don't smoke marijuana. Jerry Brown is not in favor of legalizing it, not because it's going to be hard to monetize it or track it, because if it's available to you, you're going to divert to the pot store on your way to work, and you're all going to sit around just in a marijuana-induced haze. Just ridiculous.
I was going to go to work but then I got high.
Brian Suits. Weekdays, 9 to noon on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Taxi!
Hi, airport, please?
And we're running late if you know a quick way.
Sure, not a problem.
Okay, do you have the tickets?
Check.
Passports?
Check?
Wallet?
Wait a sec. My debit card isn't here.
What?
I swear I had it last night at dinner. Oh no, this isn't happening. Hold on, there's a Chase branch on the next corner. Can you pull over and just keep the meter running? I'll be back in a flash.
So you can replace your lost Chase debit card on your way out of town, right on the spot at the nearest Chase branch.
There you go, Mr. Richards. You're all set, and enjoy your trip.
Well, that was quick.
Yep, got my new debit card. We're good to go.
Chase, huh? I need to check them out.
Yeah, you should, but we really need to get going if we're going to catch our flight.
We're at a red light, sweetie.
Oh, my bad.
So you can always keep your cool, even if you lose your card. Chase, so you can.
Instant replacement debit card service is not available in all Chase branches or for all Chase debit cards. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Get connected. Get entertained.
Woo-hoo! That's what I'm talking about.
Get live and local. KABC.
What are you thinking?
Now you can take KABC with you wherever you go by downloading the free KABC mobile app. Stream your favorite KABC shows right on your tablet or smartphone. Download podcasts and get breaking news right in the palm of your hand. Stay live and local no matter where you go with a KABC mobile app. Download it free on the App Store today. If it's live, and local, it's Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Listen to Susan Irby, the Bikini Chef, an expert in health and nutrition and 8-time best-selling author. Now, back to the Bikini Lifestyles Show.
We're broadcasting from the Bikini Lifestyle Studio at Talk Radio 790 KABC. The Bikini Lifestyle Show is presented by Fladeboe Buick GMC in the Irvine Auto Center. I'm Susan Irby, and we're back with my co-host, Denice Fladeboe, and we've been talking all night about the All-Star Chef Classic, which is next weekend in downtown LA at LA Live. Tickets and details are at allstarchefclassic.com, and we had the fabulous Nancy Silverton in studio with us. Wasn't she wonderful?
She was. I enjoyed her.
And she's doing kale salad, and I had my kale antioxidant cleanse, and then Chef Govan recently did kale, and I've done kale salad. Kale.
Kale is the subject.
Oh, and my recipe last week was the kale millet risotto. Mm-hmm. So kale's the new quinoa.
Talk of the town.
Kale is the new quinoa. That's funny. The reason why I did my St. Patrick's Day recipe last week, which was the kale risotto, so you can get the recipe at thebikinishef.com. St. Patrick's Day is a Monday.
Are you going to write a kale cookbook?
I don't know. 300 ways to make kale chips. I could.
I mean, you just rattled off 4 different ways we had it. And,
we did. But, my husband loves kale now.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And so I do this finely chopped kale salad, and it's his favorite salad now.
Because sometimes our husbands can be a little picky.
Never. Oh, no,
that was
never.
A joke.
I know. So I did the St. Patrick's Day recipe last weekend because this week, coming up at the All-Star Chef Classic is, as I mentioned, Master Chef Marc Meneau of L'Espérance, which is 2 Michelin star restaurant in Bourgogne, France. And 10 years ago, I went to France, and he invited me into his restaurant kitchen there, and it was right after I had finished doing my stage in Florence, Italy. And so I had been immersed in this Italian cuisine and culture, and then now I'm immersed in the France. And I got to tell you, the French chefs in there, they were totally making fun of the Italian chefs. And in the kitchen in Florence, Italy, there were 7 of us making food for 125 people, right? And every night. And then in France, we had there was 3 rows just for sauces at the restaurant in the kitchen. The kitchen in France was bigger than the restaurant, really. And the restaurant, restaurant seats 75 people. And then they just had a whole army of these fabulous chefs in there. It was such an incredible experience. And in the spirit of Nancy, she was a pastry chef. She started out as a pastry chef, and now there's hardly not anything she hasn't done. They always put me in pastry. So when I was in Italy, at first they wanted me to start in pastry, and then the pastry chef quit and went to France. So I ended up being the pastry chef. And then when I went into the kitchen in France, they put me right into pastry.
Did you ever tell them no? I can't do that. I don't want to do that.
I'm working with a master chef. I'm just going to do what he tells me to. And so, but one of the dishes they were making was this wonderful dish that is inspired here, and it's the papillon, which means butterfly. And you take pineapple. And I did this from memory. Okay. So I'm going to have to do a little research on how to make my pineapple wings, my butterfly wings, more beautiful.
Okay.
But, it was in a pinch. And then the cake in the middle can be, it can be almost anything. And you kind of even almost don't even have to have cake. You could have just like a Grand Marnier whipped cream or something down the center. But the cake is fun. So
I like the cake part.
Yeah, you could do, this is actually more of a bread pudding. You could do a pound cake, or you could just do, I was thinking just a very simple, light lemon cake, not your.
No, mine would be too lemony for this. I almost thought this was pound cake.
Yeah, it's a bread pudding. But I thought that, so like I said, you could do a bread pudding or a pound cake would be nice. But I was also thinking just a very light lemon and light in texture lemon cake would be nice, sort of in the middle. Something between a pound cake and a sponge cake. The sort of key to the flavors is the Brandied Baies Sauvages, which are Brandied Wild Berry Compote.
Okay. Oh, that's the Sauvage.
Yeah,
Sauvage. Gotcha.
Baies
Okay, but so did you?
Yeah, so I did a Brandied Orange Wild Berry Compote.
Okay, so how do you grill pineapple? Did you actually go out on your barbecue kind of thing?
Yes. I mean, I didn't for this. I did it on my grill pan inside, but I have a grill pan. But when I go to take the real photo of it, I will go outside to my grill and put it on the grill. So you just thinly slice it, about a 1/4 inch or so thick, the pineapple. I left the core in because a lot of the chefs probably take the core out, but that's where a lot of the enzyme, the bromelain enzyme, and a lot of the nutrients are in the core and in the stem. So it is the Healthy Bikini Lifestyles Show.
It is.
And that's what we do. So, yes, you just put it on the grill and you want to lightly grill it. Now, in France, they put butter on their grill pan and then grilled it.
Okay.
But if you just throw it on the grill, it's fine. You don't have to have the butter.
Okay.
But the Brandied Baies Sauvages, the Brandied Orange Berry Compote, is kind of the key to the whole thing. So I took 1 1/3 cups of brandy, and then I put a couple tablespoons of honey. I put the orange zest in it, a little bit of orange juice. Then I finally diced the strawberries, fresh strawberries, put some of those in, blackberries, and I think I would chop those up a little bit next time.
Okay.
And then I just put some cinnamon, some cloves, and minced fresh rosemary.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a complex. Well, yeah, but you can't. I couldn't really taste all of that stuff.
You can taste it as a marriage together. Yes. But it's one of those things when you're making it, you do little tastings along the way, and you're like, well, it needs a little bit more savory, or it needs something to pull it all together with the citrus. And
I can taste the citrus and the clove. And the cinnamon. And now that you said that, I wouldn't have been able to guess that before.
But you can't taste the rosemary.
Yes. Next bite, I tasted rosemary.
Yeah.
Oh, yum.
Yeah. And then you get the sweetness of the pineapple, which grilling it brings out even more of the natural sweetness. And then you've got the brandy there, and then you just layer that with a bite of the cake. I'm going to venture out to say that if I made this dish and I could perfect my butterfly wings, if I made this on one of the chef competition shows, they would probably like it.
They probably would. It's really good. And cute.
Thank you. I know, isn't it cute?
Very cute.
So everybody, the pineapple halves, they're thinly sliced and they lay flat and they create the butterfly wings.
Very thin.
And then you kind of make little, the bottom butterfly wing there. And then the cake is the body of the butterfly. And then I put some fresh mint leaves, and if I were at home, I would maybe slice julienne them a little bit so they look more like the little butterfly
antennae.
And there you go. And that's it. And
Very
then
good.
the berry And you could use whatever you wanted. You could use other fruits and things and berries if you wanted different colors, but that sort of makes up the color of the butterfly.
Oh, it's really, really a good idea and delicious.
And the only thing that's missing is just if you wanted like a sorbet or an ice cream or some whipped cream or something on it. But, I didn't do that today.
No, and it's okay because it tasted good without it.
Good.
It's good.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was my tribute to Master Chef Marc Meneau.
Okay, it's a good one.
And my experience en France. And Marc Meneau will be at the All-Star Chef Classic next weekend. He's going to be there on Friday. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to track him down and get an interview.
Oh, that'd be great.
Wouldn't that be fantastic? And in fact, I'm going to have to go in my photo archives and find a photo of me and him at L'Esperance and bring it and show it because
that's it.
He probably won't remember. I don't know. He might.
Maybe.
He might. He might. It was so much fun. All right. Well, let's see. The Bikini Chef diet plan is here.
Yay.
Yay. You can pre-order your copy at thebikinichef.com. Or just order your copy. But the Bikini Chef diet plan is here. And it's feel great, boost energy, lose weight, a bikini body. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Everybody can have a bikini body. Right, Denice?
I thought you were going to sing again.
No.
It's okay. You could.
It's not my specialty. I know.
Your specialty is cooking and writing.
Oh, thank you, honey. Monday is St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Don't forget to wear your green because I always do. And if you run into me, please don't pinch me.
No.
I can't stand that. It's one of my pet peeves, but whatever.
It is?
I can't. Who wants to be pinched?
No.
Well, because most people, remember when you were a kid?
They do it too hard.
They do it too hard. I know. All right, next week we have herbs and spices and heart health. And those are some of my favorite ingredients. So thank you so much for joining us on the Bikini Lifestyles Show. And until next week, it's Susan and Denice sending you gourmet wishes and flattering waistlines.
Statements made and information contained in the broadcast about specific products or services are for example only. Always consult your healthcare professional before starting a new exercise regimen, change in diet, or taking supplements. Any testimonials given during the show are based on individual results and do not constitute a guarantee that you will achieve the same results. Not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent. Every circumstance is different. You should not use this information as a substitute for diagnosis or treatment for any health condition.
Do you want to learn how to feed your family for $7 or less without eating off the value menu? With Susan Irby's 3-part The $7 a Meal Cookbook series, you'll learn how to cook healthy, use a pressure cooker, and whip up quick, easy meals. Each book includes 301 nutritious, delicious recipes that the whole family will love. Get your copy at www.thebikinichef.com or www.amazon.com today.
The preceding program was a paid commercial announcement. The sponsor is responsible for its content, which Talk Radio 790 KABC does not necessarily endorse or support.